I got that wrong.
That's okay.
Let me get it right. Bear with us. We're going to edit this.
So a better way would be, cut it out. I can't think of it. Yeah.
You're listening to the Occupational Philosophers with Simon Banks and John Rice.
Hello and welcome to the Occupational Philosophers, the not-so-serious business podcast that each and every week, with a small break in between, mashes up the worlds of curiosity, philosophy, and creativity. Because at the Occupational Philosophers, we believe they are good skills for business and good skills for life. Each and every week, I'm joined by my co-host and co-producer over in the United Kingdom, John Rice. Welcome back for 2025. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Simon. Yes, back for 2025. Took us a while to get here, didn't it? Our 2025 has started somewhat later than most people's 2025. Fair to say.
I believe we'll come home with a wet sail. And I just realised we normally start with what's caught your curious eye. We've been that long out of the game that I hadn't even thought about it. So.
To be fair, without getting too political on you, Simon, what's caught my curious eye is too frightening to even keep my eyes open to. So I've been generally trying to keep my head down. It's gone a bit crazy out there, hasn't it? Is that fair to say? Feels a bit crazy out there?
I would say, what would they call it? Global structures have been upended since our last podcast.
It's like VUCA on steroids. Super VUCA.
Yeah, super VUCA. Or turd.
Super turd. Yeah, I'll go with super turd. In
super
reference
turd
to
environment.
Whatever episode it is back in the archive. But
not that long ago, yeah. But I think it's worth acknowledging that since we last spoke, the world's slightly different. And it is what it is. But I think, yes, there's been a change of scenery, a change of tone, and maybe a change in the way that people are viewing the world as well, which possibly ties into some of the themes of our show.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to get very imaginative about how we navigate the next 4 years of a transatlantic partnership, for example.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah. We can set up another podcast. We've always suggested we might do to cover bigger, more profound themes around geopolitics, but not for this podcast.
Not for this season. And as many other podcasts do, they have seasons. We have never had a seasonal break. So that's why ours was a little bit longer. And I think it's good to come back refreshed and with a fresh view of the world as well, which brings me to, I guess, the theme of our introductory show. Now, you and I, in our podcast, we have our dinner party conversations, and this was truthfully based around one of our conversations being, don't people ask a lot of shit questions at dinner parties? And reinforced the other night, I went to a networking evening for business people in my area. I thought, okay, I'm going to do it's called LinkedIn Local, so where your LinkedIn connections go into the real world. That's the idea. And I've been umming and ahhing about, I'm always too busy to go, like literally just it never lines up with the date. And I thought, no, early in the year, quite a time, January, I went, everyone, first question, what do you do? Okay, yeah. That was it. And
did you walk away when they said that and just shake your head, sort of slightly disappointed fashion? No, you failed the test.
And I also made me realize nobody asked follow-up questions. That's it. Okay. And then that's sort of almost the question was done, which is why we came back to what are some good dinner party questions that we can ask. Imagine we're having a metaphorical dinner party. So I believe you've put together some questions. I've put together some questions. And the idea being we'll test some of them in our test and learn type modality way of thinking to see how they land.
Yeah, we'll experiment and fail and work out which don't work as well as others. And then we might revise or revamp some of our dinner party questions at the end of this, I think, and then use those with our next guests.
Now, I'm also thinking just different and better questions throughout the show, which is always interesting. So how do you ask those great questions which you speak about You often feel that people aren't asking the right questions. So why don't you kick off, as I've done the intro, and just to everyone listening at home, we don't know what these questions are. There's been no preparation.
Okay.
Or there has been preparation, but we haven't looked at each other's questions.
We haven't picked at each other's exam papers. So you
No.
do not know what's on my piece of paper here.
Now, mindful, I'm very sober, as are you. It's early morning for you, very early evening for me, and just no alcohol. So that when I put that on the dinner party, you'd probably have the drinks flowing a little bit more.
Okay. So my first question is, what are you drinking? No, it's not. My first question to you then, Simon, here we go then. Let's kick things off. So in no particular order, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Life is not a dress rehearsal.
I like that. And can you remember who gave you that advice? Which would be a good follow-up question, I think.
It was a previous colleague when I was a young school teacher many years ago. And one of he was probably, let's think, probably in his mid to late 50s, I think. And I was very early 20s. And he just seemed to be having the best weekends all the time. What were we up to? Oh, we had a dinner party. We had musicians over. We did this, we did that. And he just always had a jam-packed weekend. And I said, hey, you live a good life. And he goes, well, life is not a dress rehearsal, Simon. And I thought, hey, you're bloody right. Yeah. And that stayed with me. Yeah. So part of that is seize the opportunity, make plans, do interesting things. Don't waddle through life because you may not get another chance.
I like that. Very good.
I've got one for you, John. Is there a habit or ritual in your day that feels somewhat, let's say, sacred and you don't like to miss?
Oh, gosh. That is a nice question, actually, because I've been very thoughtful about habits. A lot of people would have been at the beginning of the new year. Because I don't set goals so much now as try to think, well, what habits can I get in that are going to make me feel more productive?
It could be a ritual as well. It doesn't, maybe not a habit per se, but like a ritual, something you do every day that is a little bit sacred. No, well, that could be, yeah. But something
floss. After my recent visit to the dentist, that's now a ritual, flossing.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
She was not happy with my dental hygiene practices or rituals or routines, so flossing's one. I would also say that my morning routine before the kids get up is a bit sacred. That's where I sit down with a coffee, read a book that I have to hand by the bedside with a coffee, and maybe throw in the New York Times Wordle.
Oh, okay. I've never done Wordle, so I know of it, yeah.
I find it very calming to my mind rather than picking up the news feed straight away. So, yeah, okay. I think that. Try to avoid
I'm going to go full Tim Ferriss on this. So he asks these really deep questions about morning routines. With your coffee, is that the first thing you have, or you have water first?
Oh, well, I tend to just grab my coffee, but I know you're going to tell me now I need to drink 5 litres.
No, I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm just curious. Like, do you cleanse your palate first?
No, not consciously. I probably do drink water, but I don't stand there and go, right, I'm going to drink this and I'm going to drink that. But
so you'll get up and you'll make like a plunger coffee, like French press?
Correct, a cafetiere, yeah.
Cafetiere.
This is very detailed.
No, so I'm curious. I'm really curious. I'm around this. So you get up, French press. It's still dark. Is the house quiet?
Yes, it's still quiet. That's the key thing. I set now my clock early to give myself about 25 minutes to half an hour before the kids start moving around. Yeah.
Okay, then you will go back to bed with your coffee, sit in bed, flick the light on, and read your book.
And read my book and maybe do the Wordle. Sometimes in bed, sometimes it's been in the corner chair in the downstairs, not conservatory, but, the back room out near the garden.
All right.
There you go.
And what's the difference between going back to bed as opposed to sitting in the chair? What's the decision-making criteria? Or just what the vibe is?
This is going to go wrong. It's whether my wife is up at the same time.
Well, this is what I'm thinking. Yeah, let's say. I was going to say, you get up, make a coffee, go back to bed.
If my
Lights on.
My wife's downstairs making noise, then I just go, right, I've got to get out of this and just sort of sneak myself back up to a quiet space. So
No,
it's
good,
quiet.
good.
I don't do noise in the morning. That's one of the things I've realised. I'm quite sensitive to noise in the morning. So I try to.
Okay, so your ritual is coffee, quiet place, reading. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Rituals are interesting.
I'm guessing you've got a Tim Ferriss type one where you drink a Barocca, do 10 press-ups, I don't know, go do a zip wire, come back and do Pilates whilst you're eating your protein breakfast.
No, it's generally just get out the door and get to the gym as quickly as I can, or for some morning exercise. But it's pretty unremarkable, but just try and be as organized as I can to get out the door. Only I found that it's almost impossible for me to have a break during the day to do that exercise. If I get it done, it just takes it away from my mind for the day, and I feel whatever happens, I've already done something positive. Yeah, but there's no real ritualistic. The ritualistic piece is I always go for a swim after the gym or exercise. That's probably my ritual. Nice. I feel, I feel much better. I can do that. So not everyone can.
Well, this is it. You've got to pick a routine that actually is doable on consistent, repeatable basis without it sort of impinging too much on the responsibilities that you have in your world.
Yeah, so that's
whatever that is. Yeah.
I don't know if that's my ritual, but that's my start to the day. All right.
It's a good question. It's a good question. Yeah? I like it. I think I'd be interested in some guests and their daily rituals and routines.
Okay.
I'm not sure they want to be interrogated to the depth that you just did with me, but what brand of coffee?
Nescafe?
How long does it take for you to plunge the cafetiere?
Should be 4 minutes.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's the next question then. Come on.
Okay.
What has been a significant sliding doors moment for you?
Oh, this is also on my list of possible questions. I would say a good one has been when you and I used to work together and I got sacked. More or less.
Again, I hasten to add, nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with John. I got politely pushed out of the business. And then I got asked to come back on the same afternoon, but on a different pay structure and different way of operating. So all of a sudden, I had to think, well, what else can I do the rest of my time? And then I went and lectured at the National Gallery of England. And that's when I thought, oh, this variety is really good. I like the creative and the corporate because I hated just being at a desk 24/7. So that was probably my, sliding door moment, that little nudge out of the business and then invited back, but giving me all of a sudden that flexibility in my day. And all of a sudden, hey, I went really well at work after that. so that was my sliding door moment. Maybe choosing to be understanding that this thing called freelancing was a thing way before it was cool, and just embracing that way of working. Yeah, that's one of them. All right. I'm going to ask you one. You're putting together a diverse team you would love to work with. Let's say a team of 5. Who might they be and why? It can be people or it could be a type of person, but feel free to. Who's people you'd love to have on a, let's say, a problem-solving team. Or
okay, I was going to say it depends what the task is.
Yeah.
If it was a band, then I want people who can play instruments or sing.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I'd go Chris Martin. I'd go.
No, definitely not Chris Martin.
Okay, let's say
a problem-solving team.
Yeah, a corporate,
Avengers Assemble.
Team. I'm going to make that a note. Avengers Assemble corporate team.
So I'd want me Tony Stark character. I would want someone who had that you would see was always bringing that kind of real innovative edge to things. I think that would be useful. Okay. The one who's pushing forward the boundaries of things. So that would be good.
Yeah.
I think you probably want someone feet firmly planted on the ground as well. You'd want someone to be able to assess things in the real world. So now they might come from a finance background and sort of be thinking about, okay, well, what's possible given the resources we've got? So I think you need a level head in the mix.
Name someone, like an example. Who?
Captain America.
Okay, so this is essentially just the Marvels anyway, go.
But we're putting them into a corporate environment. So we've got the CFO, Captain America. We've got Tony Stark as Iron Man, really. That's what we're thinking. We've got Iron Man sat in the corner. Go, what about this? What about that? I think we would have someone thoughtful around thinking about the people who we are trying to serve or solve a problem for. So you'd want someone with great empathy skills and the people at the heart of the problem you're trying to solve.
Yep.
So I don't know, Black Widow, probably put Scarlett Johansson in there.
This is full Avengers anyway. Go on.
And then obviously myself. So that's number 4.
Yeah.
I'd be trying, not direct things, but try to draw the best contribution out of the team. Try to bring forward everybody so they all play their parts and orchestrate it in some way. And then I'd have probably put Kevin from accounts in there as well.
Okay, Kevin from accounts.
Just to get some stuff done.
Okay.
Something like that. I've probably missed one there, haven't I? I could have.
No, it's
didn't
your
have
team.
to put Kevin in there.
Yeah.
It's my team.
It's your team. Do what you want. Yeah, your team.
Does that work?
I'm not sure.
Have to see.
All right, your question.
Right. I think we may have had it before, but I would ask again, potentially, describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, okay. Loose. Loose of the mind.
I was going to say, there could be a different interpretation there.
Yeah, that's why I followed that up with of the mind.
Loose of the mind. Okay. All right.
Energetic. Open.
Mm-hmm. Loose, energetic, open. Nice.
What about you?
Okay.
I'm interested in this for you. What would you, 3 words?
I would probably say curious, kind, and loyal.
Sounds like a poodle, man. We'll pay it. Who am I to disparage your poodle qualities? And likes to be patted. Please let him outside twice a day for a wee.
And a quiet space in the morning, first thing. Don't
With
disturb
kibble.
him, he'll get jittery. He might shit on the carpet.
Outside that, great pet.
I could have said funny, but then that's the last thing you say is, oh, I'm really funny.
I read that the other day.
You never say that, do you? You never say I'm a crazy guy.
Exactly that.
I'm a wacky, funny, crazy guy.
I'm a wacky, funny, crazy guy. Yeah.
Everybody knows you're not, so I can't say that.
All right, my next question for you, and I think you would like this one. What's a question you wish people asked more often? I think this one would be good for teams as well.
What's going on for you right now?
Okay.
Just showing a vague interest in the fact that you're navigating life as well. And so could be good stuff, could be hard stuff, could be tough in the moment, could be everything's going swimmingly well. But just that when you engage, that someone expresses a bit more interest in, what's going on for you right now, above and beyond just what do you do, or as we say, those kind of questions.
I
what's
like
going
it.
on? How's life at the moment? Because then you can take it where you want. So it's a very open question that allows you to allow someone to go, I'm having a tough time at the minute, or I'm having a brilliant time at the moment.
Okay.
How about you?
That is a good question, John. I would say, what are the reasons behind what we are seeing? Like, why?
I tell you what, if you came up to me and asked me that at a networking event, I would swiftly move away.
No one wanted to speak to me. I'm trying to get to, all right, we're seeing this. What's the reason that we are seeing these things? So let's say...
Behind what we're seeing.
Yes, what's behind what we're seeing? Yeah, that's it, John. Yeah, what's behind what we're seeing at the moment?
Okay. Allow people to go into conspiracy theories. Well,
Didn't say it was a good question. Just that you should ask them more often.
You could flush out some people that perhaps you do want to move away from.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
What's behind what we're seeing? Aliens.
Q, wasn't that guy in the White House? Q? Was that him? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was trying to explain this.
It's usually aliens and lizards or something. They're usually behind what we're seeing. So, but
yeah. I tried to explain this concept to my family the other day of Q and the White House, and you see a cabal of blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they're like, what?
What?
Anyway, I'm going to go, see, what? All right. I've got a good one for you next, I think.
Okay. Here we go. If you had to stand up a talent show, what would you do?
I would sing just because I always wish I was in a band.
We are kindred spirits.
Yeah, I felt that I was in a Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band for a little while, the Stone Cold Soybeans. We had 4 lead singers and 3 backing singers, which we would perform.
Did you have a sort of a large group of vegan followers?
This was before veganism was a thing. So this is back at university. Vegan wasn't pranced around like it is now. But we used to perform every year at talent show, the Stone Cold Soybeans, for 4 years in a row for my degree. So we had our one night a year. We had a proper backing band. We had a proper all-professional musicians, and we'd wrangle in. Singing wasn't so good. However, Under the Bridge, tell you what, sounded good, yeah?
Like it. I look forward to that. You've got to have a proper midlife crisis, Simon, and bring that back.
Yeah, we could.
It
gets flushed out on Facebook every now and again. Pictures of that
Where are
band,
they now? Where are they now? When's the reunion? People are crying out for it.
Okay, here's my question to you, and I think it's a good one, just putting that forward. When do you feel most intellectually alive?
Ooh.
Not too bad, eh?
I like that. The thing that comes to mind is when I'm in any art galleries, museums. We went out as a family, we went to a sculpture park, just being immersed with art and nature. And we were curious because we were looking at things and trying to appreciate the different works of art around us. So I think when I'm in that kind of environment, I really feel things spark off for me. And there's nothing I like better. And here we go. This is where I'm going to go full on geek. I love an art gallery shop or museum shop.
Oh, they're amazing. They're not geeky.
The books and the prints and the postcards and everything you've seen in there. And then you just have this desire to go and create or write a book or something else. But yeah, I find those very stimulating and a very, very happy place for me.
That would be literally my exact same answer, the exact same thing.
There we go.
Yeah, same. And also probably making art as well.
So yeah, when you're doing something creative, yes, yeah. So there you go. This is why we're doing this podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, what I like about gift shops, they often have really good business books, but there's like a really high bar to get into that. Like they're never around the atypical, but I buy a lot of business themed books in those shops around creativity, and their bar of entry is very high. I got one more, John. I appreciate it.
Go on then. Sneak it in.
All right. Now, this is that you can have a day off work. Okay. No one else can be there. We might have already answered the question, actually. You've got a budget of $150 tops, so not a big budget. So let's say 70 quid. What would an ideal day off work look like? You've got yourself and you've got like 8:30 till 6 or something.
Oh, well, is this just an amalgamation of all the things that bring me joy?
It's not a weekend. It's a weekday. So everyone else is working.
It's a day. Well, it would have to involve, the components would be a nice breakfast with coffee. Yep. Probably treat myself to something super special, a local cafe. I might then want to peruse some art gallery or museum. I could very much immerse myself in that. I'd probably try and play tennis or go for a very, very long run somewhere out in nature. So I'd probably go out and do a trail run somewhere. So getting that outdoor vibrant connection with going out and doing something in nature, and maybe catch up with some good dear friends for a couple of beers in the sunshine. That always.
So they're at work as well. They're at work.
Oh, they're at work. Oh, after 5 o'clock then.
Okay. All right.
Well, okay, so you go for. I think I've filled up the day there.
Okay. All right.
How about you?
I would, not dissimilar, somewhere slow breakfast, plenty of cups of coffee, kick-ass croissant to go with that coffee. I'd then go to a bookshop and peruse for a good hour or so. I would go to an art gallery for another few hours. I'd have a slow lunch in a funky cafe, and I'd go and try and look at some street art somewhere. That'd be so you're just wandering outside, and that'd be my, no one's there to annoy you, just your own pace, and I'd just listen to some interesting music on the way. Not podcasts, just music.
Music as well. There we go. Look, separated at birth, Simon.
John, we asked each other 4 different questions, if my mathematics is correct, and some questions that can be added either to the podcast, either in our dinner party round, or just throughout the podcast to understand a little bit more about our guests and also a little bit about what's going on in their world, and also move us beyond what do you do? So there's no follow-up question to that. Now, what are some of the ones that I asked you that you liked or you thought could move to the next round?
I think from the 4 that you asked me, and just reminding myself, it was the rituals. There was something about what are your favourite rituals, or what are the rituals you've got in place, habits maybe. You had about the team.
Diverse
what team would you assemble for problem solving or something? When are you most intellectually alive? And what question do you wish people would ask you more? I like the rituals one. I think that's quite nice. I think that does give you a nice little glimpse into someone's world and what they're trying to achieve. And I like the fact it can give you a nice personal insight.
This is what I like about this, and it wasn't meant to be about a habit, because I think habits a bit often put into productivity or maybe in that space. But a ritual could be something when I sit down, I pour my milk in first. If you've ever been to Japan and friends of ours, Japanese friends, that take you out for the tea ritual or something, you know what I mean? So it's not just the habit of it, but it's there's something, and I'm a little bit shaky. It was a little over a decade ago when I visited, but she took us out for this is how we do tea, or this is our ritual, or whatever it may be. So I think there's a little bit more than just my 7 habits for a high performing person.
No, that's a good distinction, actually. And you're right. Yeah, habits tend to get tied to you trying to be productive in some way, I guess.
Yeah.
But rituals can be quite just personal and nourishing in some way. So I go with that. I like the one around rituals, because
rituals
it's
in
a nice conversation to open up. Rituals is in. Well, he gets a thumbs up anyway, because we might have to chuck something out to put rituals in. We'll get to that problem later. I think the other one I like was, when are you most intellectually alive?
That was pretty good, hey? Yeah. At least say so myself.
The team one with the Avengers Assemble.
I give that a thumbs down.
I found that quite challenging. And it could work. It might work in certain places, but not as an open.
It needs a better structure for the question.
The other two could be. And what question do you wish people would ask you more? It's not bad. It could be that's like, what do you want people to be curious about you? But not sure.
I realised I didn't actually ask it correctly. I should have said, what's a question you wish people asked more often, rather than you? I put in the you. So I realised I read that wrong. So what's a question you wish people would ask more often? Which is probably why you couldn't understand what I was talking about when I gave my response.
I've got an answer to that one now. How the hell has this happened again? Okay, so we might have 2 might get into the mix there from your 4 there. What about mine?
I like the advice, because I think everyone's possibly got a frame of reference, and mine was easy to remember because that's the one I give all the time. So we always ask that. Yeah. Sliding doors. I reckon that's a pretty regular question. Like, it's a good one. It's a good one, but I think we could not tidy it up, tart it up a bit more, or I think we can give it a different spin. So it's not sliding doors. It's one of those spinning doors. Okay. When you go into an office.
So we're putting that in the maybe bucket. We'll put that in
maybe leaning towards possible. 3 words is always interesting. Talent show. I mean, they're all pretty good. They're all pretty good. I would think maybe out of those ones, maybe the talent show I might drop, or the 3 words. Yeah. Anyway, how do we know till we try them?
Yeah. Well, this is it. I think I will see how it goes with the next guest that we have, with the fresh batch of...
Now, really, I guess the thinking behind this show, which goes back to what you spoke of all the time, what are the questions we need to be asking, and especially what are the questions we ask at work? And I think good questions in life, but also at work, can make such a difference. And think of your meetings. What's the question you could ask to kick it off that might be a little bit different for every team as well? I'm just curious around what that could be.
Yeah, and it is actually, you're absolutely right. It brings us back to the heart of this is when I would be with teams, it would often be, what question do you need to be asking right now? What is the topic of conversation that is important for you to get to grips with? And so questions are great. They allow you to take the conversation where it needs to go. And that's important. So yeah, the quality of questions dictates then the quality of the discussion that one has and whether it's on the right topic at the right moment with the right people in the room. So yeah, that's a superpower.
And on that truth bomb, John, I reckon we wrap it up. So I'm going to test you to see if your memory has moved from season 1, which was 4 years long, into season 2.
I got one last thought on this, Simon, and that is, I think we should be thinking about as well is what questions are the questions you should be asking your teenage children, apart from things like, when are you going to tidy up your bed?
Like, why are you such an arsehole?
When are you going to do some revision?
Why are you such an arsehole? Do I look like I want to deal with this shit? Just give me a day off. That's a statement. Forwarded with a question.
Again, another show on parenting, maybe. But I think there's quite a few podcasts out there.
That's a saturated market of people who do it much better than us. That's what I'm thinking. Just because you say you're a guru doesn't mean you are.
I'm definitely not a parenting
All right,
guru.
John, I'm going to hopefully throw you under the bus a little. How do we always wrap up our podcast, John?
Okay, let's see if I can remember this then. So, thanks for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, we'd love you to subscribe. We'd love you to tell your friends. We'd really love you to leave a review. And that's really easy to do. It's just take a moment to leave a review. It makes a massive difference and allows us to get out to a wider community of listeners. So that would be appreciated. You can check us out on the website, occupationalphilosophers.com. You can get in touch if you've got ideas of topics you'd like us to explore or guests you might like us to interview or chat with. Interview's a bit too formal. I think chat with. Dinner party vibe is what we're going for. And then in amongst all of that, in the meantime, stay curious, make stuff, play more.
Waiting.
And yeah, go on, you're going to have to help me.
Have fun.
What is it? Have fun.
Each and every day when you head out into the world, make sure you go and date life.